For the last 6 years, I've been mocked, ridiculed, laughed at, and it hurt my feelings. And I still believed Sam Darnold's got a little bit of Andrew Luck. Tough, relentless, like a linebacker playing quarterback. Coachable. Throws a bad pick, follows it up with a great pass. What you're seeing is the Andrew Luck thing. And they're asking him to make big boy throws. He leads the NFL 60 completions over 20-plus yards. Those are Brady and Mahomes throws. No dink and dunk here. 70% completion rate. 26 TDs, 3 picks in the red zone. He's the league's most efficient quarterback now. And in the second half of the last 7 games, 1,000 yards and a passer rating of 114. Why is he not in the MVP discussion? Hello, look at all the numbers. Because you've already disqualified him. You made up your mind. And that's what we do in the media. You have decided, it's a cute story, but no. This roster isn't great. There's no but. Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold. Look at the numbers. Who do you trust more in a playoff game? Are you sure it's Lamar? And I love Lamar. But what I said years ago, I said there's some Andrew Luck here. All you did, just took shots. Here's the thing. When you watch him play, you know what you notice? How much his coach trusts him. And don't worry about being liked in life. It's who likes you. And everybody in America was bailing on Sam Darnold. You know who didn't? Kyle Shanahan's like, I think he's good. Kevin O'Connell, McVay. Yeah, I think he's really good. Yeah, I'm going to trust those guys. Yeah, a lot of defensive coordinators who are anti-risk didn't like him. And by the way, he'll give you an ugly pick. So does Mahomes, so does Josh Allen, so does Justin Herbert. But after his pick yesterday, 9 for 12, 134 passer rating. That is Andrew Luck. I don't think he's as gifted as Andrew Luck. I never have. I said it then. There's some Andrew Luck, a little Favre here. But what you're seeing now, look at what they ask him to do. Anytime you watch a game, when you watch the offense, watch what a coaching staff allows the quarterback to do. In fact, my criticism of Minnesota yesterday was when they led in the second half, I was like, Kevin, turn the governor down, throttle it down. You don't have to have him throwing in the teeth of Green Bay's pass rush and defense. But that's how much confidence they have. And this is not the best the roster will be. They've got cap space. They've got a lot of really, really good young players. As Sam Darnold, the hero, 33 of 43, should be in the MVP conversation. Show you a picture of him here going into the locker room. They know what they have in Minnesota. What they have is an MVP-level quarterback. It's not just a great story. That was September and October. And then in November, it's, do we have a great player? Now it's like, do we have the MVP? You can't let him go. His contract now is 50. It's not a 40. It's a 50 on the market. Here's Sam after.
A lot of water bottles, a lot of water. It was just mayhem. I think I blacked out, when Aaron Jones grabbed me and lifted me up. I didn't know what to do with my hands in that situation. So Ricky Bobby style. So it was, it was an interesting moment, but a fun moment, man, to be embraced by your teammates like that.
Sam has played so well for 3 months straight. I always do the Super Bowl bubble about once a month every 5 weeks. Here's my Super Bowl bubble. Green Bay's out. Minnesota is in.
Yeah. Minnesota has been in. Welcome to the party, Colin. It's so funny. Colin's like kind of doing both here, where he was like, he didn't really trust them, and now he trusts them. He's like saying, I never wavered on Sam Darnold. Never forget, after that LA Rams game, when they lost, he said the difference is that Stafford's better than Sam Darnold. He said, and that the Vikings will have to move on from Sam Darnold. And I said, no. So Colin has absolutely been firm with Sam Darnold and has defended him and has been a big proponent of his, but he did waver. And now here we are with Sam. There's absolutely positively zero chance the Vikings are going to move on from Sam Darnold at this point. Zero. You can't just assume that J.J. McCarthy's going to be able to do any of this. There's actually zero guarantee that he can. There's 100% guarantee that Sam Darnold can do it, because we're watching him do it. He now has the most quarterback wins in Vikings history in a single season at 13. I mean, it's just wild. They only got, this was a huge game for the Vikings, obviously, as Viking fans know. They only had 69 rushing yards, 26 carries on 2.7 yards per carry. They needed Sam to be that guy, and he was that guy. 33 for 43, 377 yards. The guy had like 300 yards, like midway through the third, I think it was. 3 touchdowns, 1 sack, 116 passer rating. I mean, you all saw the throws. I mean, the throw to Naylor, to Jefferson. I mean, on the run, he's doing everything. Like, that's the thing. He's doing everything. And the way he's doing it every way. All right? Like, the way he moves around in the pocket, the way he moves out of the pocket and throws on the run, the way he does a random dink and dunk, the way he does a deep 20-yard pass, 50-yard pass. I mean, like, it's just kind of outrageous what he's been doing. I mean, he does it every single type of way. And here's what's so awesome. Well, there's 2 things that I really love. One, since he's such a big body, he's a big dude, right? He looks like he's built like a Josh Allen Andrew look. But he doesn't run like Josh Allen in terms of like ready to truck people over and just kind of do whatever it takes. But one, he has the mobility, so he can move. He's not a statue. He's not frozen. Like the dude has legs. He's just not going to barrel over you like he has Josh Allen. But he has Josh Allen's like confidence and confidence in his own physical strength. So he stays in the pocket. He literally will just stay there. His patience is like, honestly, at this point, it feels legendary. I mean, seriously. I mean, he just stays there. He's just unfazed. He's like, yeah, I feel the pressure. It's all good. What do you want me to do? I'm going to run away from it? No. I got, you know how many weapons I have down the field that I'm looking for? All I need is an inch and I'm getting them the ball. And you see it. I mean, it's just awesome. I mean, it really is. He's proving to be an absolute elite playmaker from the pocket. And I do not throw that word lightly. To me, it goes elite, great, good. He has been showing to be an elite playmaker from the pocket. I mean, it's just awesome. It really, really is. The defense obviously were just swarming the Packers. I mean, my goodness, let me see. I thought I had it written down, like what Jordan Love had. I think I probably had it on my Packers notes. I mean, Jordan Love had like 60 yards going into like the fourth quarter or something. Yeah, 60 yards passing with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. And this was, like they wanted this game. They were not ready for this game. What we saw here was the Vikings on a completely different level. What we saw here were the Vikings continuing to prove that they are indeed a top team in the NFL without a shadow of doubt. A shadow of doubt. Not even remotely leaving the door open. Well, they need blah, 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 blah. No. People were saying, well, they need home field advantage. Can they win on the road in the playoffs? Well, they can make it to the Super Bowl, but they can't win the Super Bowl. Man, miss me with that nonsense. I had to listen to that for week after week after week after week after week. Oh no, they lost to the Rams. That's proof that they're not that good of a team. They lost to the Lions. I told you they're not that good. Yeah, they just can't keep up. Sam Darnold. Sure, whatever you say. The other thing that I really thought was awesome about this game was the end. And you saw a couple big time moments. Big time. The one throw to Jefferson again with Sam Darnold on the move, which was just beast, honestly, right? I mean, like that is such a huge throw. Huge throw. Cannot be understated how huge of a throw that is. And then the throw to, to finally ice the game. His name was it Akers? I forget now. It's completely slipped my mind. To ice the game. I don't think it was Akers. I forget though. But that throw and that catch. Those two plays are the difference between winning and losing. How many times How many times have we watched games throughout this season where the team with the ball is not able to convert that first down to be able to not give the ball back to the Green Bay Packers? We see it all the time, to give the ball back to the Packers to get a chance to win the game. We've seen it so many different times. Every single week we see it. Every single week. And yet the Vikings were able to execute it flawlessly. Flawlessly. I mean, the Eagles would have 2 more wins and would have the number 1 seed locked up. Locked up. Saquon Barkley just catches the ball against the Atlanta Falcons. Game over, they win. Instead, they give the ball back to Atlanta. Atlanta marches down the field, scores, game over. They lose. Against the Commanders, Devontae has the ball, thrown at him, drops it, boom, they give the ball back. Washington Commanders march down the field. That's the difference. The Eagles would have the 1 seed. If they just caught the ball, if they just executed properly in those moments, they have the number 1 seed. The Eagles have the number 1 seed and home field advantage. They could not execute. The Minnesota Vikings could. Now the Minnesota Vikings are playing for the number 1 seed. That's football, man. That's 2024 football. That's what it all comes down to. This was a near flawless game, except for, of course, Sam Darnold's interception, which was definitely a bad throw and a bad decision. Bad decision more than anything. That's when it's one of those things where it's like, you got to know the score. You got to know the situation. Not needed. But again, it happens. It definitely happens. You just don't want it to happen. And it'll be heightened when a Sam Darnold does it, because he doesn't have the equity built up and the track record to be like, well, I'm a 2-time MVP. I've led this team through so many seasons, right? Like, that's what the Mahomes, the Allens, and the Lamars have in their back pocket more than a Sam Darnold. Like, I already heard, as soon as he threw that interception, I could hear Nick Wright and Wilds and Brew be like, pumpkin mode or pumpkin watch. I was like, yeah. Sam Darnold's has been proven to be a top quarterback in the NFL right now. And it's not even up for debate. He absolutely should be in the MVP conversation. I don't think he'll get it, because, to be fair, any of these teams that are typically stacked, which especially offensively, the Vikings are, they just don't get that same level of credit for their success. But again, if you're a Vikings fan, that's not a bad thing. That just means how great everyone thinks your team is, and the coaches especially as well. That they just get less credit. So it's like, who cares? Seriously, who cares at this point? But Sam Darnold has been a top quarterback in the NFL this whole season, has been an MVP candidate this whole season. And the Vikings' future, I mean, how can it get brighter right now? I mean, it was so funny to listen to that broadcast where they were like, oh, a lot of people were doubting the Vikings, and people weren't really talking about the Vikings, and Tom Brady was trying to explain why. Well, to be fair, the Lions were really good last year, and this and that. Open up your eyes, man. Open up your eyes. That's Colin kind of said it, but he said it more about Sam Darnold, talking about how, people make up their minds and then they don't want to change it. People made up their minds about the Vikings this season. Didn't want to change it. To be fair, I made up my mind about the Vikings going into this season, and I didn't change it, but it ended up being accurate, so why would I change it? Good stuff, man. Good stuff. That was a wild game. And I guess technically the Lions now, they don't need to win. It doesn't matter, because I guess if it's still a tie, if they lose and then they win, right? I think that's the way how it kind of works at this point now. They just have to win that final game. So I wonder if that is correct. I wonder what they'll do against the 49ers, if they'll sit people, or how they will kind of attack it. But this game was also big too, because it warded off the Eagles as well. Because if the Vikings lost this game and the Lions lost, then if the Lions win against the Vikings and the Eagles win, then the Eagles got the number 1 seed. So this win was something. It solidified the Eagles at the number 2 seed, and now it obviously puts the Vikings in a position to get the number 1 seed. First round bye, home field advantage. We'll have to listen to that throughout the whole playoffs. I'll be honest, I love everything the Vikings do. I do not like that. I'm gonna maybe lose some Vikings fans with that statement, but I do not like hearing that every 5 seconds. I'll be 100% honest. It's not my favorite thing. That's just me. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Minnesota Vikings and Sam Darnold? Do you think he's proving to be the Vikings' long-term franchise quarterback? And how do you feel about Colin finally putting this team in the Super Bowl bubble? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.